Phew. Alright, so we're back with another tutorial, and as you can see, my dude here hasn't had a haircut in I don't know how long, but it's been a long time, and he finally decided to come get a haircut. So we're going to go ahead and start debulking some of the hair with our number 2 guard on our wall seniors. And the reason why you want to make sure you debulk is because you want to be able to see what you're doing. Also, because that's going to help our clippers not work as hard, right? Our trimmers aren't meant to go through really thick hair, and then we still do it anyways, and then we complain like saying that, oh, these clippers are whack, they really don't go through the hair like how they say they are. But you can see them, even though I still have some hair on there, these clippers really do go through thick hair. But that doesn't mean that you should always do it. Always try to debulk as much as you can. That way you can have precise lines and your trimmers don't have to work as hard. So now we're really just balding it out. We're doing more of a drop fade. And the reason why we're doing a drop fade is because his head shape is more oval. So if we did a high bald fade, then his head would look like more of an egg shape, and we don't want to do that. We want to keep more weight on the parietal ridge. That way we can give more square masculine look. Now I'm going in with my wall seniors, blade all the way open, and I'm creating my second guideline. Now in the back area, I am going a little bit higher than I am on the sides, and that's strictly because on people, the back of the head is always more dense, and that's where the thickest part of the hair is. So you always want to make sure you spread out that blend in the back. That way it's going to give the illusion that the whole haircut is the same throughout. But now we're going to start taking out that bottom line, and as you see there, I have my lever all the way closed, but I open it up a quarter of an inch. And the reason why I open up a quarter of an inch is because every time I go up a little bit higher on the fade, I'm going to open up the lever so we can give it some gradiency. So if I would have just stayed at the very bottom with my blade all the way closed, then all I would have done is just take out that guideline, but I would have been creating more lines. And by opening the blade each time you go up a little bit higher, you create that gradiency, and that's really what you want in the fade. You don't want to just create the guidelines and try to erase them. You want to create some gradiency in between each panel, each guideline. So there was a little bit of inmarcation whenever I was setting the initial guideline. I kind of went in a little bit too rough with my fabulous shavers, and I created a harsh line. That's why I'm going in with my fabulous trimmers now, because they do cut a little bit shorter. So I'm using the strictly corner of the blade. That's to really try to erase that guideline that I made with the shavers. And it kind of came out. Now you will see me at the more towards the end. I will come back in detail a little bit more. But now I'm going in with my half guard, and we're erasing the line between the number 1 and the blade all the way open. So as you can see here, I still open up the half guard a little bit more each time I go up. And like I said, we're strictly doing that to make sure we give the face some gradiency. And like I said before, I did put in a harsh guideline at the beginning, so that's what I'm doing here. Right now I'm really attacking that bottom initial guideline just to really be sure to take it all the way out. And I mean, it happens. We're not going to be perfect. You're going to make those mistakes, and I definitely made this mistake, and that's part of it. You can't help it sometimes, especially if you're running behind already on your appointments and you're trying to rush through a haircut, trying to get it done. I mean, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. That's why it's important that if you do appointments, you schedule each appointment according to your time. You know how fast you cut. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to set yourself enough time to be able to cut each client, to be able to relax and stay calm and really pay attention to the small details. And that's kind of what happened on this one. I didn't give myself enough time. I actually really wasn't expecting for him to come in looking like this. I was expecting him to already come in with short hair, you know, like just a little touch up, but man, like I had no idea how long it'd been since he came in. I forgot. So just always be sure to stay calm and relaxed and take your time on a haircut. But anyways, getting on with the top, you always want to comb out the cowlick the way it naturally wants to grow, and that's what I did on this one. Part of the hair the way it wants to grow and the way it wants to lay down. And now I take about an inch section wide partings. That way I can make sure I stay consistent with my cutting. And I do apologize, but my camera kept on going out of focus, so you really can't see right here. But what I do want to do now is connect the back of his apex into his front fringe area. So I do go in vertical just to be sure I keep some of the hair longer in the front, so I'm over directing. And while I'm here, I'm just gonna go ahead and part it because he doesn't want the hard part. So just go ahead and part the hair like that it wants to lay down on. And I do scissor over comb just to really give the nice smooth transition. If I would have gone in with the clipper, I would have probably made it too harsh, made a harsh line. So going in with the scissors really helped me out by keeping it more soft look to it. And like you see there, the hair does lay down pretty nice, and that's strictly because we understood that we had to go in with the clipper to a certain level. And like I said, we want to keep more weight on the parietal ridge areas, and that's exactly what we did there. And now with this front line up hairline, he wants more of a defined edge on it, and he didn't really have the baby hairs like a lot of people do to give him a defined line. So sometimes you got to create those little baby hairs, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. I went ahead and took some of this bangs off his fringe area, combed them down. I parted them to where it doesn't go too far back, and you trim them up. And once you do these, you kind of give the illusion that he has little baby hairs, even though he didn't. He actually had a good line. And for some people, this works perfect. This is what they want, and you got to give them what they want. I mean, he could actually win without a hairline, like a harsh, like straight lineup, but that's what he wanted, so that's what we're going to give him, right? So this is a perfect example of how to do that. And sometimes I do consult with a client, and I'm like, hey bro, like I don't think this is going to be a good look for you, but in this circumstances, a lineup did come out better with his haircut, and it made it that much better. I mean,
I don't want it too low. I want it full.
You got it full, man. I will come off the corner of the mouth, right there. Right there.
Oh, really?
I mean, you got the beard for it. Like, a lot of people wish they could have that full. So you have it full, so might as well embrace it. So that was a little example of what I usually do whenever I do like consultation with my client. Now, like he did ask for a fuller beard, and we were on the same page because I definitely think a full beard would go perfect with him. So you always want to make sure you consult with them first and try to give your advice and see what you can do to help them. And you know, you got to make each other's visions match. His vision has to be your vision has to be his. Now, as far as consultation goes, a lot of people like to do the full consultation at the very beginning of the haircut, like right before they even get started. But me, consultation never stops. As the haircut keeps going, I keep asking questions. I never stop. And also, I don't really ask for the full details at the beginning, strictly because that's kind of wasting time. I could already be cutting his hair, starting doing something with his hair, and as I'm doing the fade, I start asking him more questions to get a better understanding. But I never stop and just say, hey bro, like, are we gonna do this? Because most of the time they're not gonna know what they want, and you're just gonna be sitting there looking at each other, right? And that's wasting time. Now, there are times whenever I may not have a clear understanding of what he wants, and at that point, that's whenever I stop, I put the clippers down, and I make sure I understand what he really wants. You gotta be on the same vision, guys. You gotta make sure y'all both on the same page. Alright, now this is whenever you have to be extra careful. Not because you're not skillful at lining up mustaches, but because this is one of the people's most sensitive areas on their face. And what I mean by that is that whenever you have the trimmers right next to their nose and they're vibrating, then that's going to want to make them sneeze. And I can't tell you how many mustaches I've accidentally shaved off before, because it tickles them, they want to laugh, they want to grin, and boom, right off the back, like you don't even realize it, they move their lip a little bit and boom, bye-bye mustache. But like I said, accidents happen, and hopefully they'll be understanding as well. Now, whenever doing somebody's eyebrows, for some reason, doing men's eyebrows brings me way more satisfaction than doing the actual fade. And the reason is because eyebrows for the longest time have been looked down upon, especially for a guy. Like if a guy got his eyebrows done, then I feel like they would really judge somebody, because they would judge the guys, because that's not what guys do, right? Like that's for females. But times have changed. I mean, it is 2020. Like appearances have changed. It's a whole different era. And eyebrows, to me, man, like it just really completes the fade now. Like there's nothing worse than seeing like a clean fade, but then you look at somebody's eyebrows and they're just all out of shape. Like you got hair sticking up everywhere. Like it's just looking wild. So by doing a guy's eyebrows, like it's gonna change his whole appearance. But we also got to be mindful. We don't want to have them walking around here looking like they just got their eyebrows tattooed on, right? Like, we don't want them looking like a chola and with like the Sharpie eyebrows or anything, right? So we got to be mindful of that. Keep it as full as possible, as natural as possible. And like right there, I took off the little ends because I was giving him more of an arch. And like I said, I don't want to give him a high arch. That'll be more for like women, unless there are guys that like those really high arch eyebrows. I mean, which is cool too, and whatever they want, right? Now my guy here, he has been blessed with like a really nice beard. He's only, I think, 23 right now, but forget 23. He's been having a beard since it was like maybe like 10. I remember meeting this dude like in junior high, and he already had a full beard. It's crazy. Like, I wish I had those kind of genetics, right? But on the beard, I mean, I love doing beards. They bring great satisfaction as well. They are a little tricky because you do have to look at them at different angles. Like at the angle that I had him at first, it looked like his beard was having a really nice shape to it. It was straight. It had like a nice little curve to it. But now you look at him from a front face angle, then you can see that his lines are a little bit more squared off. And that's not really what I want. I'm going for more of a nice curvy edge to it, right? So you want to be really mindful of that. Don't be scared to move his head. Look in the mirror. Do everything you have to do to look at it from different angles. That way you make sure that all angles are lining up the way you want it. See, like right now, like I turned towards the mirror. I saw a little bit of a hair like sticking out of place. And there you have it. Right there you can see I did miss a few hairs, so I'm going in just with the corner of the blade. That way I make sure I don't push his beard way too low, right? Because we're trying to keep it full. But it really does come down to the details whenever doing beards. You got to be really mindful of that, and always make sure you look in the mirror. Now, just to really clean it up a little bit more, you get the little flyaway hairs. Make sure nothing's sticking out. That way it looks nice and full. And there you have it, guys. There you have it. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. And as far as the coronavirus, let's stay safe. Let's play by the rules. Let's stay home. That way we can get back into the shop and do what we love the most. Thank you for watching. Until next time.